What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It is now June, so it is time for the May budget review. Before I dive into the line items of the budget, I'm just going to recap the two financial goals I had for the month of May, which I outlined at the end of my April budget review video. So the first one was I wanted to fully fund my Roth IRA for the 2020 year, and we had up until the tax deadline to get that done. And if you saw maybe 2 or 3 Transfer Tuesdays ago, you know that I did hit that goal, so that's very exciting. I got the full $6,000 contributed for last year. And if you can hear that noise, I apologize. My kitten is playing with a pen. I have distracted him so he's not up here in our face. And then the second goal I had was I wanted to have a full $2,000 saved for my vet and medical emergency fund, and I only got to $400 as of my last or this week's Transfer Tuesday video. I did have to take the kitten to the vet for his first vet visit, so I was gonna do a little bit more, but instead I actually just paid out of pocket for his vet visit. So I got $400 of that $2,000 goal, which is no big deal. It's just a goal. I didn't make it. It's okay, but I made my other goal. So I'm happy with that. So now we got that out of the way. Let's go ahead and jump into our expenses line by line. All right, so time to go through the budget. Whoops, kitten just fell. He's fine, don't worry. All right, so my income right now all comes from my W-2. And my monthly goal is the base amount that I will make, as I say every time, without any overtime or shift differential. If this was just 40 hours straight every week, this is the minimum that I would take home. And that is $5,360. And this month, I actually took home $5,583, so a little bit over, which is good. All right, now expenses. So my first expense is my rent. As you know, I pay $1,000 a month to live in this studio, and that includes Wi-Fi, heat, hot water, all utilities. So it's just $1,000 flat, and that's exactly what I paid. And then my next monthly bill is my federal student loans, which I'm sure we're all more than aware right now they are currently on forbearance and at 0% interest. So my normal monthly payment is $705.69, or at least it was back in the beginning of 2020 when they went into forbearance. But I did not have to pay that. But as we know, I am saving up for when they do come due again, and when they do start accruing interest again, I am saving up to pay off the full interest balance on that has been accruing since 2016. So we are saving for those. We're just not paying a monthly payment right now. The next expense is my gym membership, which is $22.99 a month, which is exactly what I paid. And Netflix is $17.99 a month, and that's exactly what I paid. And then my cell phone is always right around $60 a month, give or take, with taxes and whatever they tack on there, but I paid exactly $60. And then the next budget was for groceries / food, which includes eating out. And I budgeted myself $300 this month, and I actually spent $305.85, which is not bad at all. We're only over by $585. Not bad. My next category is gas and car wash. I say it every time, but I live in New England, and we go from salt, sand, and slush season right into pollen season. So I do budget for car washes, and I budget $60. But this month, I've actually been driving a little bit more now that the weather's warmer. I kind of like to get out and do things a little bit more. So I spent more on gas. I spent $101.75 in total, which is $41.72 over, which is okay, not a big deal. And then my next category is my chiropractor. God bless him. He is $40 a visit, and I like to try to see him every week. Unfortunately, I was only able to see him 3 times this month, so I only paid $120. So we're $40 under budget there. And then the next category is my monthly massage, which is always $65 a month plus a $10 tip. So I always budget $75, but I actually did not get my massage this month, so I do still pay the monthly payment of $65, even though I didn't have the massage, but it just like goes in a bank. Like I could get 2 next month if I wanted or whatever. So I only spent the $65, not the $10 tip, so we are $10 under there. And then the next category is pet supplies. I budget $25 a month, but we've been stocked up and have not needed anything, so I actually didn't have to buy any pet supplies this month. So we are $25 under. And just a note on that, I did buy a bag of kitten food for the kitten, but I lumped it in with the groceries just because I bought it all at once, and when I see a charge at a particular store, I just lump it all as groceries, so whatever. All right, next category. The one I've really been trying to work on, shopping. I budgeted myself $300 this month, and I actually spent $495.34. A little over there. Over by $195.34. Oh my gosh, wrong color. Whatever, you get the idea. $195.34 over. Whatever, I'm trying. Okay. I don't beat myself up over shit like that. If I had a more stringent budget, obviously that would not be so high. And yes, I've been there. I get it. It sucks. But you know what? Now that I can, I work my ass off for this job, and not that I need to justify any of this to anybody, but I'm just saying it out loud in case, I don't know, some people are very strict with their budgets, and I try to be, but sometimes you gotta treat yourself a little bit if you can. Normally I treat myself with saving and investing, and I do, trust me, I do for the most part. But anyway, I'm rambling. My next category is investing, and this doesn't count my contributions to my Roth IRA. It doesn't count my contributions to my 401k. This is just extra investing that I do above and beyond those items. So for me, this was my $125 a month to my FundRise account that I love very much. And that's exactly what I put in. And then the last category, well, not the last category, the next category that's the same every month is donate. I always try to donate $50, and I did donate another $50 to my friend's oldest son's trip to France that he's taking next year with his high school class, and so I was very happy about that. And then let's just call this next section other. Okay. So the first thing in the other shit is my Easy Pass, which for those of you who don't live on the East Coast and don't live in Florida, because Florida thinks they're special for some reason, Easy Pass is just your toll booth pass that is, one, a little bit cheaper, and two, you can just like fly through the Easy Pass lanes. You don't have to actually stop and give cash to the toll booth people. I didn't have a budget for that guy, honestly. I didn't plan to drive so much, but $60 came out of my bank account just because it auto replenishes after a certain threshold, and it'll auto deduct $30 from my checking account. Apparently I've been driving a lot since that had to replenish twice, so $60 came out. That's okay. And then the next category, I'm just gonna call it my investment property. So if you guys have been watching my videos, you know I finally closed on my investment property at the very last day of April. And there's just been some things that have required money up front. Like I had to, now that I'm the owner, I had to pay the gas bill right now because the tenant has stopped paying. And then the other thing I had to pay kind of a registration fee with the city of Kansas City, which is something everyone's required to pay, or at least all landlords are required to pay. And it just covers, apparently they do regular inspections to just make sure the home is healthy and habitable, which I'm totally fine with. So between those two items, it costs $79.54. And before anyone comes at me with the investment property and the shitty tenant that's in there right now, the seller had compensated me knowing that the tenant stopped paying rent just before I bought it. So they took off a pretty good chunk of money off the purchase price that covers like 11 months of the monthly cash flow that I would have gotten from a tenant that is paying rent. So knowing that the eviction process could be lengthy, especially with all of the kind of rent protection stuff going on because of the pandemic. So it's absolutely a cost I'm willing to incur at this point, because I know in the long run it's going to be working out in my favor. And like I said, they took a huge chunk off the purchase price, so please don't come at me for that. Anyway, and then we have little man's first vet checkup. Like I said at the beginning, I wanted to contribute, well, I was hoping to contribute a full $2,000 to the vet and medical fund for the month. And this last paycheck, I was hoping to put $500 into it, but I was only able to put $400 because little man had his first vet visit. So, but he's up to date, clean bill of health. He's got all his boosters and vaccines and all that. So that cost $153, which is not bad. So between those three items that weren't necessarily budgeted for, that was $292.54 over. Not bad at all, because things always come up, as we know. So grand scheme of things, for the whole month, I was over by $460.45 between these extra categories and then my normal monthly expenses, which I don't think that's bad at all. I'm fine with that. And then next category, I'm sorry, my cat wants to come in. Please forgive me. All right, come on. Okay. Next category. Debt. Boop. Oh, we all know the only debt I have at this point, with the exception of the mortgage on my investment property, which I don't count here because that is a cash flowing asset. Once we get a good tenant in there, that's not counted in my debt category by any means. That is happy debt, that is not shitty debt. Personal opinion. I know all you Dave Ramseys, all debt is shitty debt. You know what? I feel like you're either Team Dave Ramsey or you're Team Robert Kiyosaki. I'm somewhere in the middle. We'll just call it that. I don't think it's bad debt to have an investment property mortgage. But anyway, this here is bad debt. This is my shitty student loans, which we all know are the bane of my existence. $185,920.22. Paid. $0. We didn't pay any this month, but I am saving, like I said. I did have the full $7,670 something dollars saved for the outstanding interest that is owed if you watched my last handful of monthly budget reviews. But of course, last month, we all know I had to dip into that to pay for some of my Invisalign out of pocket, since I am too old for orthodontic coverage at this point in my life. Not bitter about that at all. So right now I have $4,500 saved towards that interest. So as of right now, we have until the end of September before those loans come due again and before interest starts accruing. So I have no doubt that I'll be able to save up the rest of that, what, $3,200-ish to get back up to the full amount of outstanding interest that I have. So that's all good. All right. So if you do subtract that amount from the total, that would leave me with $181,400.22 to go. Yay. And if you have seen my 5-year debt payoff plan or my 2021 financial goals videos, I am hoping to pay a total of $30,000 towards it for the year of 2021. So that would leave me with $25,500 more to go. And yes, I know we're already halfway through the year at this point. It's not looking good, but you know what? I'm not doubting myself yet. I'm not counting myself out. If we get there, we get there. If we don't, we don't, whatever. Next up, my sinking funds. Boop. All right. So y'all know my first sinking fund is my emergency fund, which is like 5.5 months of expenses, whatever. I just rounded to an even 10,000, and y'all know I hit that mark. Had to take some out for Invisalign. Got it back up where it needs to be, so we have the full 10,000. That's great. And then the next sinking fund was my Roth IRA 2020. And as we covered at the beginning of the video, it was 3 transfer Tuesdays ago. So right at the start of this month, I was able to contribute that remaining $1,634.93, which is a little bit of what hindered me from the full $2,000 I wanted in the vet and medical, but it's okay. Priorities. This one had a deadline. The other one did not. So we have that full $6,000 for 2020. And then the next one, of course, is my Roth IRA for 2021 with a goal of 6,000. Got 785 contributed so far still. So $5,215 to go. And then the vet/medical fund. Talked about it several times now. $2,000 goal, 400 contributed. 1,600 to go. And then the car/maintenance fund. Again, we know I'd like another 2,000 there. I have not contributed anything necessarily to that yet, so 2,000 to go. I don't know, last month I had a travel fund on there. I'm still up in the air about that. It's just, again, not priority right now. Obviously getting my Roth funded and my vet, medical, and car maintenance fund, those are my priorities. So traveling is not necessarily hot on the docket at the moment. Now let's talk about June money goals. I'm not going crazy with the June money goals just because, so at work, our schedule is changing slightly, so I don't know exactly what my pay is going to look like. So our rotation schedule of how we rotate to second, third shift is changing a little bit, and I know the pay will be slightly less. So I'm just going with a nice, easy budget for the month of June, and I'm going to say I would like to contribute another $1,000 to my vet medical fund. And that's really all we've got for the May budget review. I hope you guys did well with your May money goals and keeping on budget. I always appreciate you guys watching these videos. The support means so very much. I hope you get a little budgeting inspiration from this, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Bye.